Hello comic book people of the world, let's talk about Marvel Comics Iceman issue number 4, written by Sina Grace and illustrated by Nathan Stockman. Previously, Iceman has been working with fellow X-Man Bishop to investigate some missing Morlocks. Along the way, he teamed up with both Spider-Man and Firestar to have Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Not exactly, but still it was good enough for me to get really excited, and so did a lot of other people who just wanted to see the three of these guys team up in something that should happen much more often. But we find out that Mr. Sinister has been kidnapping certain Morlocks for an unspecified reason, and he's also taken an interest in Bobby Drake. In this issue, we see that Bobby is determined to free these captured Morlocks and to confront Sinister himself. Iceman is by far not the smartest out of the mutants, but he is smart enough to go to Forge to try to plan ahead, to which Forge gives him a device that is going to come into play later. Iceman does track Mr. Sinister down, but Mr. Sinister is already waiting for him, of course. And after a prolonged battle, it does look as though Mr. Sinister gets the upper hand on Bobby. Or does he? Meanwhile, while this is all taking place, Mutant Pride is also going on. This is like gay pride, but in this instance, it's for mutants. Iceman doesn't tell Kitty Pryde, who is currently the leader as of this issue, what his plan is, so she continues on with her own speech in the celebration of Mutant Pride, which that's going to lead into its own thing in issue number 5. One of the highlights about this issue is that Bobby is really coming into his own as being a leader and spearheading the freeing of these Morlocks. And when you think of Mr. Sinister, you usually think of him as taking on all of the X-Men together and not just having one-on-one. So it is pretty cool to see him and Bobby being faced off against each other. And I gotta say, probably one of the biggest monumental things about this issue is the introduction of Shade, who happens to be the first drag queen mutant in the Marvel Universe. At least the first one introduced so far. I can already see some people being furious that this character was being introduced, but personally, I love it. Whether or not she's gonna have a role with the X titles after Sina Grace leaves, that's unknown, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed we're gonna see a lot more about her. But that's it. The next issue is the final part to this mini-series, and you just know that Iceman and Mr. Sinister are gonna really duke it out. I will do a video on that final issue as well, so stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. If you haven't done it yet, check out my Patreon site, check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, and namaste, and I'll see you guys later.
I'm in love with a hero.
I love that artist Nathan Stockman is drawing Shade with all of these unnecessary pouches, just going along with the whole idea the drag queens are a bit over the top, and having these extra pouches totally go in line with that.